Joey, your crack is on Nic Martin, full-time. You want him full-time mid?
Yeah, well, you just mentioned, King, about maximising your trump cards, and I just wonder whether Essendon can now do this with clearly their second-best player. So Nic Martin has taken himself to the next level, but when you look at the evolution of Nic Martin, it looks to me as if he's going to follow a path of some of the other star midfielders of the competition, because in 2023 he played mainly as a wing, and he was the second highest-rated wingman in the competition. That year, the rest of the time, it was playing that half-forward role. Then last year, they used him majority of the time as a defender, and he was top 8 in the league as a defender in the competition. We saw at the start of this year, he played the half-forward role, but it's really the half-forward role, but almost going back behind the ball.
Yeah.
And they were trying to use him in that capacity. But in the last 2 weeks, they've turned him into a pure inside midfielder. So he went in more centre bounces the last 2 weeks than he'd been in his previous 76 games in his career. He was rated number 1 on the ground against Richmond, and he was the second highest rated player on the ground against the Brisbane Lions. And I just wonder, as we have a look at some of the vision, whether he can now follow the path of guys like Ed Richards and Hayden Young that have started their careers in a different role, but all of a sudden are genuine A-grade elite midfielders of the competition, because he has everything. So his ability to read the cues, and you showed some of this, Kingy, on Sunday night, I think, or it might have been Thursday night when this game was on, but he's got that ability, like McCluggage, to read the play. As soon as he sees Essendon going to win it, he can get forward to the ball. And that's why he's a goal-kicking wingman. He's kicked 4 goals in the last 2 weeks. He's really improved his ground ball game. So the last 2 games, he's had 12 contested possessions and 12 contested possessions. Only once in his career, the previous 76 games, has he had more contested possessions in a game. We know he's got the skill and the ability to be that running player. He's always shown this in his bag of tricks. But I just think they've got so much room to move with him now. So this is another one where he just tracks the play. So this came from a free kick on the wing, and his ability just to read the play, see what's unfolding, and now they can take this to a new level. And I just wonder, the mix now with him in there, Setterfield's been in there for 6 or 7 weeks. They like his size and what he brings. Caldwell, we know, is a very competent midfielder as well, and Durham can play that real tough in and under role and that defensive role. If you can get a midfielder now that's doing this sort of stuff and pushing forward and can really work and wax with Zach Merritt, I just wonder how far it can go. I think it's something they've got to continue to explore. There, as I said, his numbers over the last 2 weeks, I've really liked it. Then it leads me to, Kingy, what then Essendon want to do with Zach Merritt. Can they maximise him in a different way to just playing him in a midfielder? And he's always been the one that seems target and tag at times, but we saw him on the weekend play at half-back. Now, I'm not sure if that was the best look for him, because it wasn't his best game. He had 17 kicks, but 7 of them were ineffective. Do they continue to explore with him at half-back to see if they can improve their ball movement? Because I know you've highlighted it's a big issue. Is it better off him playing forward of centre, or do they just continue to play him in the midfield with Nic Martin and try and really maximise that? What do you think you'd like to see with Zach Merritt?
Yeah, it's a good question. I love your guns who can kick the ball like this guy at half-back, because no one tags the half-backs. They're allowed to roam and do what they like. Clearly he had an off night.
He had an off night, this one,
Yeah, so that's you got to block that one out and move on. I don't know. It's a great challenge. It's a great problem to have if you're Brad Scott, because you've got 2 trump cards in the middle. Maybe they can have a look at what the Adelaide Crows are doing. We'll get to those that crew in a minute, but maybe just keep the pressure on. You've always got one in the midfield. You've always got one, whether it be half-back or half-forward, doesn't really matter. But Merritt and Martin could wax and wane.
Yeah. Did he have an off night because Scotty's instruction or licence would have been, we want to bite off a little bit with the corridor?
It looked that way. I think because he'd gone to half-back. I think in his mind it was like, I've gone to half-back, I've got to bite a bit off.
That's what I mean.
And he just bit off a little bit too much.
Where do you want them?
I want Nic Martin to stay in the midfield. I want to see Merritt play that half-forward coming up role. I think he maximise his talents forward of centre with Nic Martin. I think they can cover across half-back and see if they can put some scores on the board, because scoring's been an issue for them.
Because watching it, I was just looking, he's going the corridor a lot in terms of his predetermined idea on what he wanted to do with the footy. It's time for David King. You can go first.
It's time for others to recognise what the Crows are doing. And I think the Crows have been building for a while. We've talked a lot about the Adelaide Crows midfield over the last couple of years. Is it vanilla? Is it better than that? They've got that in order now. And since Sam Berry's come into this team, Dawson's been able to spend more time forward. He's forward 50 times double, from 15 to 30 minutes. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you get the return that this guy does in the forward, he's a monster. He gets a mismatch, you capitalise. So over the last 8 times he's been targeted inside 50, he's kicked 4 goals. Not the team, but him. Which I reckon is amazing. So that's 50%. That's almost double what the best in our competition get. So he's not going down there as a prime target. I understand that, but I think you've got to explore this guy as a deep forward, and I like Berry in this team. I just wonder what that means for Crouch. now the midfield's doing what it's doing. And now we've seen Isaac Rankin. He was 70% mid, 30% forward. Now that's flipped back the other way. So they are getting more damage forward of centre. I wonder whether they'll stay with the damaging model and maybe look to just grow this midfield and the cohesion in there. Their backs haven't hardly missed a game. Over the last 8 weeks, they've pretty much played 100%. So let's wait and see what Nixie's got in store for us.